you very much. He'll be chiming in, I'm sure. Is that him, the big C on the screen?
Appears that way.
Okay, good enough, thank you. And so before we proceed, please shut off any iPhones, cell phones, any electronic gadgets that would create a distraction to the proceedings. In the event of an emergency, please exit to the rear of the room. Someone will assist you. Don't use the elevator. And we're scheduled to terminate this meeting at 10 p.m. Hopefully you don't need to go that long this evening. And other than that, if there's no other announcements from the board, seeing no gestures or hands raised there, we'll call up the first applicant. This was tabled from September 18th, 2025. That case number would be 25-128. The owner is James and Carol Dickerson, and this is 926 Whitney's Grove Road. Gentlemen, come right back up here if you would. Attorney Campbell, nice to see you again. We haven't seen you in a long time.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah, welcome. Always enjoy your presentations.
All right. Well, thank you and good evening, members. For the record, my name is Attorney Bernard Campbell from the Office of Beaumont and Campbell Professional Association in Salem. I appear this evening on behalf of Mr. Dickerson and his wife for the continuation of the discussion of the variance at 926 Whitney's Grove Road in Derry. Now, I understand that this was opened and the board began consideration. I did look at the minutes, and as I understand it, the matter was placed on the table because of a question about the accuracy of the survey that was produced on behalf of my clients. And so I've been only involved in this matter for a very short period of time. It is always my desire to try and resolve issues if I can. I don't try to go out of my way to create conflict, and I'm not always looking to create litigation. So in that vein, I have been in conversation with the attorney for the abutter who raised that concern or claim. And what I have done, I think, Mr. Chairman, so I guess my question is, what is it the board needs to hear from me? What part of the presentation was previous? And I understand from reading the minutes that what the board asked for was some sort of resolution of the discrepancy to the extent that that was possible. And I'm prepared to at least talk about that issue and perhaps offer a resolution, at least for the purposes of us completing this part of this transaction. So with the chair's indulgence, I didn't get a chance to get this letter to you any sooner, but I'd like to read a letter into the record, and then I'll give the letter to the code enforcement officer. So this is addressed to you, Mr. Chairman.
This would be from Attorney Denzer?
No, well, I'm responding to Attorney Denzer's letter. I saw Attorney Denzer's letter of the 29th of September. This is in response. So this is addressed to you, Mr. Chairman. Ray, Zoning Board of Adjustment Variance Application 25-128, owner, applicant James and Carol Dickerson, 926 Whitney's Grove Road, tax map 16, lot 5. Dear Mr. Perkins, this letter is intended to advise you that my office has been retained by James and Carol Dickerson, the applicants in the above noted matter. Their variance request for the property at 926 Whitney's Grove Road is scheduled for a continued public hearing this evening. I have reviewed the minutes of the prior meeting on this application. I have also been provided with a copy of the correspondence dated September 29, 2025, sent to the board by Attorney Bridget Denzer, representing the owners of map 16, lot 6 at 930 Whitney's Grove Road. I would call the board's attention to the following. I am aware that the survey discrepancy asserted by Attorney Denzer on behalf of her clients. I believe I have identified the source of the discrepancy. The result of this discrepancy suggests that the northwest bound of map 16, lot 6 is 3.8 feet northwesterly of the corner identified by Lavelle Associates. The line from there goes easterly to the agreed bound at the shore of Island Pond. The disputed area, hence, is a small triangular parcel of land. In the first instance, my clients have conferred with their surveyor, Lavelle Associates, and I'll carrot out of the letter just to say, Mr. Laval is here and present and continues to believe his survey is accurate. Returning to my letter. Who continue to believe that their survey properly reflects the common boundary between the two parcels. It is possible that the issue may require judicial intervention to confirm which party should be considered to have the more accurate depiction of the boundary. Of more importance to tonight's meeting is the obvious fact is that the ZBA is not in a position, nor does it have jurisdiction to adjudicate the boundary dispute. In these circumstances, it is my position that New Hampshire law indicates that private boundary disputes are generally not considered during land use board consideration. By this I mean that if an applicant submits a survey which has been signed by a licensed professional, then the Board of Adjustment must presume that the applicant owns what is depicted thereon. See 15 New Hampshire Practice, 4th edition. The author is Attorney Laughlin at section 37.09. The obligation is on the challenging abutter to confirm their data by an appropriate private action. In the first instance, it is therefore our position that the board must assume that the size setback to map 16, lot 6 is satisfied. Period. Paragraph. Notwithstanding our belief in the foregoing principle, I can understand that the ZBA would have concerns that the future structure to be built by my clients could end up with an offset distance of just over 11 feet if the owners of Lot 6 ultimately secure a court decree in their favor. I have discussed this potential outcome with my clients, along with the board's expressed concern about that eventuality. My clients are prepared to stipulate that they will modify the proposed structure to be built such that it will be not less than 18.8 feet from the lot line as depicted on my client's plans. This representation means that even if the line is not where we assert it to be, the completed structure will still conform to the required 15-foot side setback. This action may require a slight change in design, but my clients have determined they would prefer to secure approval for construction as opposed to waiting for the results of any potential litigation. Paragraph. My clients remain hopeful that in this matter may be resolved without lengthy litigation between the parties. In the meantime, we believe that with the offered stipulation, the request satisfies the statutory requirements for variance with respect to a sideline setback on the opposite side of the property, which has the full support of that abutter. Yours truly, Bernard H. Campbell. And a copy of this letter was emailed to Attorney Denzer at approximately 5 o'clock this afternoon, and a copy to my clients. So I have the original. I will turn that over to your code enforcement officer to add to the record in this matter.
Thank you.
So, building on that, Mr. Chairman, basically what we are prepared to say is that even if the abutter's contention is correct, which we still dispute, and may still be the subject of a dispute, a civil dispute between the parties down the road, that dispute will have no impact on this board or the zoning ordinance, in the sense that we are prepared to stipulate, and we would expect you would make that stipulation, that the structure to be built will be at least not less than 18.8 feet from that sideline, so that if that 3.8 feet turns out to be correct, we will still be 15 feet from the sideline. And I hope that that will resolve the board's concerns about the boundary line dispute.
The current stipulation is 3.8 feet, and you're trying to make sure that whatever any adjustment could come from some legal action would keep you at 15.
Correct.
And no less than. I understand.
That is correct.
And you understand that the board's position is that if we see two discrepancies on a plan, to be cautious, not only for the board's sake, but also, as was expressed to Mr. Dickerson, that in the event that they got caught in a legal battle, it could be detrimental to their plans as well. I appreciate your clarity on this and making sure that whatever comes forward down the road in regards to Mrs. Denzer's clients, that would be the Mentox, that you were fully prepared for this and brought forward the information that you did. So I think we're on fair ground there and understand each other. I think one of the things that became a question, and you had opened with what the board might need in this regard, was just a clarity on the plan. There was some confusion on the plan when your client was here the last time, and just how it was orientated. It took us a bit into the meeting before I think, at least myself, understood where the conflict was. As the Mentox, and please correct me if I'm wrong, but the Mentox were on the opposite side of the right-of-way there, not on the corner where the infringement of the setback was going to be. Am I correct? And then I see Mr. Dickerson eagerly agreeing with me, Mr. Campbell. So
Yes, that is correct. The request for the variance for the side setback is actually the abutter on map 16, lot 4, which is the Parry family. My clients have been in conversation with them, not only over that issue, but the desire to relocate the driveway that exists, that serves the Parry property, which currently has 2 dwellings on it. And so the plan discussions have been, I will say, apparently much more cordial with that abutter. They have no concerns about the proximity, and my client is proposing to construct a new driveway for them because the house where it will be situated essentially will rest on top of the current access that the Parrys have to their properties. So my clients will be constructing a new access to those properties.
okay. Let's just inquire with the rest of the board, see if anybody has any questions. Mr. Corbett, please feel free to chime in when you would like. Mr. Burgess, any questions?
Could I get that 18 feet something? What was that, 18?
18.8.
8.
Because the attorney for the owners of Lot 6 have suggested that the point that we are using is off by 3.8 feet. We proposed to be 15.17 off there, but obviously if 3.8 feet is wrong, we're now in 11 and something. So what we're doing is we're stipulating that we will build at least 18.8 feet away from that corner where we think it is, such that if we're wrong, it will be 15 feet. And we will not encroach. He will not have any need to come back to this board for supplemental relief, either dimensional or otherwise. And that will allow that house to continue to comply with that sideline setback.
Now, one of the other things that I read through that attorney is the access to their property with the driveway that they have, that will not. Well,
and I can respond to that. And I don't know if Attorney Denzer had indicated she might be on the Zoom. I don't know if she's there, and if she is, she may respond on her own later. The driveway there's actually 2 pieces of driveway that are being relocated. If you look at the proposed condition plan, the first is right up near the west end of the property, where we will be creating the new driveway from map 16 lot 4, which says proposed driveway from map 16 lot 4. The other piece for the relocation piece is in the area where you see the proposed porous pavement. Right now, the current driveway is approximately 6 or 7 feet from the corner of the existing barn. This proposal is to straighten that and then bring a more gradual turn toward the proposed new dwelling. And 2 things happen that way. One, we get the road further away from the barn, which from a traffic safety standpoint, I think is favorable. And I don't know that there's really any objection from the owners of Lot 6 with regard to that feature of this plan. The other thing that this plan does is it pulls up pavement, replacing it with porous pavement, so it reduces the on-site runoff, which would run into the pond. And so but it will be the same width. In other words, there was a question, and Attorney Denzer posed a question as to whether or not we would be impinging on the width of their right-of-way, and the answer is no. We expect to do the porous pavement areas to the same width as existing pavement is now. The only question I don't exactly have is that porous pavement going to continue all the way down to the garage and the turnaround area? Is that going to be all porous pavement, or are you going to go back to regular pavement in here?
I would really think about using the.
Could you speak into the mic, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can't hear you without it.
I haven't determined that with our builder, but I would prefer to have porous just so that we have better water quality for the lake.
So the expectation then, Mr. Burgess, is that
that whole area.
that porous pavement will continue all the way to the new dwelling, because that garage is a drive-in at that point, and also in the turnaround area that will go down the edge of map 16, lot 6, as depicted. And we also are in discussion with the owner of lot 6 about making an arrangement, just basically a landing area, so that they come onto that pavement from their property as well.
Okay.
Anybody else, Mr. Tripp?
Oh, thank you.
Mrs. Moore?
Nothing at this time.
Calling on alternates, Mr. Dietzel or Dragani or Mbimba. Any of you have any questions?
No, thank you, Mr. Chair.
I do have one question.
Dragani?
So when you're saying you're going to adjust, are you going to adjust the size of the building, or are you going to be sliding this over closer to the other
We're
unit?
going to be adjusting the building.
Yeah, there isn't, as you can see,
Not much room on the other side to.
No, that's what I was
they
thinking.
could shift the garage a little bit where it's 5.0. Let's say we needed to gain a foot. Maybe they could jog the garage, still maintain the 509, that's the question of the relief. But if you look at the dash line with the envelope, they have very little room to move the structure north. So they have been in conversation with their builder, and the structure will actually be slightly smaller in footprint.
Well, we're talking 3 feet, as far as I know, or thereabouts.
Well,
About between 3 and 4 feet.
Yeah, I think the approach is that there's an adjustment factor going on here in anticipation of any future judicial actions.
Okay.
And so they're preparing that and would shrink the size of the footprint accordingly.
Yeah.
All right. And likewise, Mrs. Owen has informed the board recently that the town has taken up, or the code enforcement department has taken up certified plot plans. So of course you'd know that and accommodate that as well.
You'll need a certified foundation plan before releasing the rest of the permit.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Mr. Cameron?
Not unless the board has any questions. And again, I was not here, as you know, Mr. Chairman, so I believe it sounded like Mr. Dickerson addressed the criteria when he was here the last time, but if there's any other questions on the criteria, I can try and be responsive.
Yeah, I think you've made it clearer on the layout of the lot and the intentions, as well as the pervious surfaces of the driveway and its extension beyond the drawing and the plan. And that in itself is helps your client quite a bit for clarity with the board, and your prepared accommodations for anything that you could befall the client down the road.
Northwest.
So I have nothing further. We'll, as the board policies allow for rebuttal, we will take this opportunity to call again for public input. If there's anything that comes up, you would, of course, could yield and have an opportunity to rebut there. But the room looks small in attendance, so we'll see if there's anybody online. Mr. Burgess?
Yeah, one small thing. We're talking about the southwest corner, right? Southwest side of the building? Southeast. That's where the adjustment would be.
Well, yeah, that more the southerly line in total, but
Yeah, it is.
the closest, those lines run parallel. They would still run parallel, so it would be considered the south or
Southeast.
southeast line.
Yeah.
Yeah, that will be shifted 3 feet to the north.
Okay. I just want to make it,
3 to
because I know we're
3.8
going to have to
feet.
put something in the additional on our map, on our drawing, on our application that we read out to the public.
And what is that again?
It'd be the 18.8 feet from the southeast corner.
Well, we'll look back at the motion and see how it's structured.
Or
and
not
maybe
less
we'll
than 15 feet or something like that.
So they need the variance on the other side.
Oh, this side. You already have the variance on the other side. That was the 5.9 feet.
That was
Now
never
we're talking
voted,
about
Mr.
the
Chair.
southeast corner, okay, which is where they're going to have to shrink the structure up. On the backside, we already have the 5.9,
Mr.
as far as I know.
All right, so let's defer back to Mr. Campbell for a minute.
Mr. Chair, if I may?
Yes, sir.
Apologies for the interruption. We do have Bridget Dinzer, who has raised her hand. May shed some, I
Okay.
believe I heard that name as. a
We'll
member
bring her
of-
in on public comment, if you
Understood.
would. Okay. Mr. Campbell, Mr. Burgess may have some clarity needs there, but feel free to address.
So I'm not sure, Mr. Burgess, what where you see the 15.17 now, that will be 18.8.
Right.
That offset will be adjusted by reduction of the size of the structure.
Right.
So that it is 18.8. So if in fact that line is determined to be off by the 3.8 feet as contended by the abutter, we will still have 15 clear feet
Okay.
for that structure.
But that's where we'll work that out later on. I know what you mean now. Yeah, I just wanted to get the cornerage, because when we do it, it's nice to know which side we're talking about.
Well, understand that on the northwest part of this is where the encroachment of the
5.9.
side setback is.
Yes, that is correct.
Back up here.
And so they will maintain what's there, that you see the 15.17 regardless. And so I don't see that we'll have to reword that motion at all. Because we're staying consistent to,
Well, it's talking 15 now instead of 15.17, I think.
as long as we stay, all right, well, we'll circle back to this in a couple minutes. Let's just make a call to public, and that would be, at this time, anybody who wishes to support this application, this would be your time to come forward remotely or within the room. We have some phone numbers there, Mr. Preventure, to post.
Now, Mr.
There,
Chair.
thank you very much. Anybody who is, who wishes to engage in this remotely, this would be your time. The phone number is posted on the screen, 646-558-8656. At the prompting, enter the ID number 323-909-140. If you're having any technical difficulty, just dial 845-5585. The clerk will help direct you over to Mr. Preventure. Anybody there on the support for this, Mr. Preventure? You don't identify that way, do you?
I can tell you that a hand has been raised by Bridget Dinzer for a while, so I'm not sure which side
All right.
that would be on. But
Other than that, I've seen nobody rise for the support of the application, so I'll make the call for anybody that is opposed to this application. And of course, I would think that Ms. Denzer would want to come in on this one.
okay. Ms. Dinzer is available to speak now. She can unmute by pressing.
evening.
Attorney Denzer?
Good evening, Board.
There we go.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I represent Melissa Mentuck and Matthew Crucius. They own tax map 16, lot 6. I did receive a copy of Attorney Campbell's letter that he read into the record around 5:30 this evening. I've discussed it with my clients. I understand that the applicants are prepared to stipulate that they will modify the proposed structure such that it will not be less than 18.8 feet from the lot line depicted on their plan. Based on that stipulation, my clients are prepared to withdraw their objection to the application and will not be taking a position otherwise on the application.
Okay, very good. Anything else you wish to share with us?
I just want to say I appreciate the comment Attorney Campbell made at the outset in that it's his hope to avoid litigation, and we remain hopeful that we can work with the abutters to try to address all concerns that my clients have with respect to the proposed development.
Very good. Thank you very much, and thank you for calling in. I think she's gone, Mr. Bencher.
Here's that way.
Nobody else?
All right, anybody else wish to speak in opposition to this application? Seeing nobody rise, anybody?
Seeing none online, Mr.
Very
Chair.
good, thank you, Mr. Preventure. Mr. Campbell, you want to wrap up, and then perhaps the board will dive into deliberation.
No, Mr. Chairman, I think we've covered that, and as I said, my objective in getting involved in this, I have, as the chair knows, a significant history in dealing with Board of Adjustment members and applicants, and sometimes applicants have to be flexible and to realize that, if they want to attain their objectives, sometimes they have to give just a little. And I think Mr. Dickerson and his family have done that in order to address the board's concerns that came up at the last time. And so we're hopeful that that gesture will motivate the board to act positively on the variance with the stipulation that we've offered.
Very good. Whereas we've cleared up that friction, we have the option of breaking up the motion into two motions, or just doing it both as one single motion. Do you have a preference there?
No, Mr. Chairman, whatever the procedure the board wishes to use.
Very good. So as the original motion is structured, I'll recommend to the board that we stay with that. Code enforcement was good enough to give us a breakdown of both if we chose. The board certainly has that option. However, the applicant is not looking for that. If anybody has any objection to keeping the motion as it's presented, and any other adjustments that may come up, particularly from Mr. Burgess, I know he's like to share some thought there. Please make that motion now. Otherwise, we'll proceed with the motion into deliberation. A lot of babble there, so no one hearing no gestures. Could I have a motion go into deliberative, please?
I'll make the motion to go into deliberative
Mr.
session.
Burgess makes that motion. Anybody second?
I'll second it.
Thank you, Mr. Tripp. All in favor of deliberation, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Mr. Corbett, are you right there?
I am, Mr. Chair.
Very good. Thank you very much. Oh, look at, it kind of like, reminds me of, well, never mind what it reminds me. Good to have you here, Mr. Corbett. Mr. Burgess raised a concern. Well, first of all, let's just break this down. Right now, I don't see any issues with the applicant, with the application. It seems like a common adjustment out on the lake there, and trying to accommodate for a couple of structures, and probably none of them are in conformity with the zoning regs now. That's my feeling on the application right now. Anybody else wish to speak on that, Mr. Corbett?
No, I agree. You summed up any questions I had or the statements I would have made to the applicants earlier. I think we've seen similar situations with this before. I don't really have many concerns to get ahead of what Mr. Burgess brought up before. I believe, to your point, what they're willing to do, it still wouldn't require a variance. I don't see any need for us to have to paper that. But I really have no qualms with this.
Okay, Mr. Burgess?
The only thing is, to the clarification of putting something down about...
Is that setback?
Make some minimum of 15 feet from the lot line, or no more than 18 feet, or something to that effect. I don't know how to word it exactly.
Okay. Overall, you don't have an objection with this application at this time?
No, that was
Mrs.
the only
Moore?
big deal.
No, I think because both attorneys have stated on the record that they're in agreement that that in itself is good enough, they definitely know the law
Okay.
better with saying it's on the record.
Mr. Tripp?
I have no problems.
Okay. So let's look at structuring the motion. Just to break in, have partway through the motion as it's set up, the ordinance to replace an existing deteriorating three-bedroom dwelling with a new three-bedroom dwelling less than 15 feet from the side property line on an existing property consisting of multiple residential buildings.
Do we want to note that which side, just for safety?
I think that, to Mr. Burgess's point, that might be recommended. That way it eliminates his concerns. I think that there's a confusion that you see from the 5.9 feet versus the 15.17. I think to Mrs. Moran's point, stipulating the boundary where this conflict would be would probably suffice and meet your needs, Mr. Burgess?
Yeah.
All right.
Side property line of parcel ID and then,
Northwest corner?
It's southeast.
No, it's the northwest corner. Because the motion is stipulated that this is less than 15 feet from the side property line. It will be
that was
less.
this one up
It
here.
will be less than, and so it,
That is correct.
and so if it were going to be less than on the 15.17 feet, this would be a different matter. You follow?
Yep.
All right. Mr. Corbett, you good with that?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, Mr. Tripp?
Yep.
All right, good enough. Thank you, Mrs. Moran, for clarifying that. We have that on the northwest corner. You have that stipulation?
yeah.
All right, good enough. If there's no other addendums to structuring the motion, we can take a motion to come out of deliberation.
I'll make the motion to come out of deliberative session.
Second.
Thank you. Mr. Burgess makes the motion. Mr. Tripp has a second. All in favor of coming out of deliberation, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Mrs. Moran, you have a motion to read.
I do, thank you. I make a motion on case number 25-128 for James and Carol Dickerson to grant a variance to the terms of Article 3, Section 165-8, and Article 6, Section 165-48.b.4 of the Town of Derry zoning ordinance to replace an existing deteriorating three-bedroom dwelling with a new three-bedroom dwelling less than 15 feet from the northwest corner side property line on an existing property consisting of multiple residential buildings. Parcel ID 16005, zoned LDR, as presented with the following conditions. We have one, subject to obtaining all state and town permits and inspections, and that concludes the reading of the motion. I need a second.
I'll second it.
Mr. Burgess seconds the motion that puts it on the floor. Mr. Corbett, you want to go ahead with the finding of fact?
Yes, the finding of fact for case 25-128. The board found that the applicants are requesting a variance to replace an existing deteriorating three-bedroom dwelling with a new three-bedroom dwelling less than 15 feet from the side property line on an existing property consisting of multiple residential buildings. The existing property has contained two residential dwellings since 1945 and one detached barn. The applicants are requesting a variance to replace the existing deteriorating two-story, three-bedroom dwelling with a new two-story, three-bedroom dwelling in a different location on the property due to shoreline setback requirements. Relocating the dwelling results in the loss of its grandfathered status of more than one residential building situated on lot. However, it involves replacing the existing structure with a comparable structure. Property is located in the low-density residential zoning district, which requires a 15-foot minimum setback to the side property line. Due to the shoreline setback requirements, the new dwelling is proposed to be 5.26 feet from the southeast side property line. A shoreline impact permit has been granted from NHDES to replace the existing dwelling with a more conforming dwelling, replace the driveway, and install a new septic system. Proper erosion control is required during construction. The board also includes all facts found in the meeting minutes for this application and incorporates all meeting minutes into its finding of facts and decisions. Does anybody have any additions or addendums to make?
Mr. Chair,
Point of order, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. We will pause. Hold on, Mr. Corbett. Mr. Attorney Campbell's brought something to our attention. Yes, sir.
I didn't realize that you had a member participating remotely.
Okay.
Under the provisions of RSA 91A, 2, you first have to vote to allow that gentleman to participate remotely, and then second, all of your votes have to be by roll call, since you have a remote participant.
Yes, our votes are always remote, and I did announce that Mr. Corbett was remote right at the beginning of the
Did you
meeting.
vote to allow him to participate?
You and I may be in disagreement on that, in that we know that if a quorum is present, then members can be remote. If you want to get hung up on the technicality, we can back up a bit.
No, I'm under the impression that the board must vote to allow a remote participant. I just want to make sure that the board doesn't err in a 91A issue. So I don't know if anyone has the ability to pull up the statute, but
Well,
I just raised that.
That's fine. I've actually never heard of this before, Mr. Campbell, but whereas you're an attorney and I'm not, I'm going to heed your warning, and we will take that precaution right now. Is that all right? Very good.
Mr. Chair.
All right, thank you. Could I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to make a roll call vote for, to allow.
Remotely.
Remote, that's the word I was looking for. Allow remote participation by Mr. Corbett.
I'll second it.
All right, that motion's on the floor. Ms. Moran, did you have something else you want to add in that regard?
Mr. Corbett mentioned southeast, and I mentioned northwest, so I just want clarification that that the finding of fact is the same.
Okay, so Mr. Corbett, let's clear up the first motion here, whereas that will pertain to Mr. Corbett's further participation. Mr. Burgess, you made a motion to allow Mr. Corbett to participate remotely. That was seconded by Mrs. Moran, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay, all in favor of Mr.
Said we have to do it.
Just hang on. All in
sorry.
favor of Mr. Corbett participating remotely, say aye.
Aye.
Mr. Tripp, individually, is that a yes?
Yes.
Mrs. Moran?
Yes.
Mr. Burgess?
Yes.
The chair will vote yes. Mr. Corbett, are you okay with participating remotely?
Yes, I'll allow it.
Make it unanimous?
Yes, thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Now, we want to back up. There's a discrepancy on the finding of fact. Mr. Corbett, could you clarify your southeast comment versus the northwest that we stipulated on the motion?
Yes, perhaps I may have also confused the two. I had it as 5.26 feet from the southeast property line.
Okay, so that would have to be the northwest property line,
northwest.
but your footage is correct.
So
So
I'll make that
we'll
correction now.
amend that finding of fact. Any other commentary on the finding of fact? Seeing no gestures there, all in favor of moving this for a vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Corbett, what say you?
I vote yes, and thank you, Mrs. Moran, for catching that.
Thank you, Mrs. Moran.
I vote yes.
And Mr. Tripp,
I vote yes.
Mr. Burgess, and the chair will make that unanimous. So that's a 5-0, Mr. Attorney Campbell. So, and thank you for the education. Mrs. Owen will have to verify that down the line, make sure that we don't get tripped on that, on the remote question. If you would put that in your notes for your next business with our council. Gentlemen, you've been approved. Mr. Dickerson, congratulations, by a vote of 5-0. Anybody aggrieved by this, of course, has 30 days to ask this board for recourse or rehearing. After that, recourse will be Superior Court. But whereas I think the only obstacle was your neighbors represented by Attorney Denzer, I think you're in pretty good shape. So congratulations and good luck going forward. You're welcome. Thank you.
So I think as long as we can see the number, we don't have to. I thought that was the rule.
That's what I thought, but we'll verify that.
Oops, don't fall down.
He popped
Mr.
up.
Chairman,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I'd like to
Step off for an alternate?
down for an alternate, yes.
Okay, good enough.
I'm going to hit the head.
Okay, good enough. Thank you.
Okay.
Next up is Case number 25-129. Applicant is Chelsea Ewing, and that's for 3R Phillip Road. Mr. Dragani, could you sit in on this one, please?
Yes, Chair.
You going to depart for a few minutes, or are you sitting? Good enough. Good evening, folks.
Good evening.
You're excited to be here, I know.
Mr. Chairman, members of the board, good evening. My name is Andy Perlman. I'm an attorney with the law firm of Prunier and Perlman in Nashua, here on behalf of my client, Chelsea Ewing, the applicant and owner of 3R Phillip Road here in Derry. We're seeking
And Attorney Perlman, I don't think you visited with us before. We just simply, I don't know if you caught the protocols we prefer, which is just to go through the 5 criteria right from the beginning, and then we'll let you elaborate beyond that.
I was, excuse me, I was going to hit the application right up front. I have some additional information, some handouts for the board, so.
If you can circle back around on that after you read the 5 criteria, I'd appreciate it, okay?
There we go. Mr. Chairman, we actually have kind of 2 applications. Ms. Ewing filed an initial application, and then I supplemented her application with a filing on September 17th, 2025. And so I'm going to touch on both of them, if that's okay with the board. Members were seeking a side yard setback. We believe the variance is not contrary to public interest because, as Ms. Ewing states, it's improving the property look and removing equipment from the yard. The spirit of the ordinance observed is because we're 35 feet back from the road, from Phillip Road, and we believe substantial justice is done. The yard is fenced in, and the proposed shed will not disturb anyone. The values of surrounding property are not diminished because the shed will improve the look of the neighborhood. And finally, with respect to the hardship, Ms. Ewing stated that the shed cannot be set 15 feet from the property line because it would hit her porch on the side of her house, and she's using it to store, for storage on my property. The storage is snow blower and lawn mower and rakes and whatnot. And then when I got involved, Mr. Chairman, I saw that. I thought it was a decent application, but then to touch on more of the legal subtleties, I submitted my letter dated September 17th, and to touch on the 5 criteria. We do not believe that the variance would be contrary to the public interest because sheds are a common accessory use, and there are plenty in this neighborhood. Allowing the proposed shed will not alter the character of the neighborhood nor impact public health, safety, or welfare. The spirit of the ordinance will be observed because the purpose of setback ordinances is to maintain separation between neighbors and to prevent overcrowding. We have an existing fence separating 1 and 3 Phillip Road. The proposed shed will not encroach or overcrowd the neighbors. The shed will not change the essential character of the neighborhood nor threaten any public rights. A substantial justice is done here, Mr. Chairman and members, because Ms. Ewing currently has no place to store her snowblower, lawnmower, and other yard equipment. The shed will allow her to clean up the yard, like most neighbors have in the neighborhood. Further, the location at the shed at the end of her driveway provides a buffer from the street for her backyard, thereby creating some privacy for Ms. Ewing, her family, and guests. We also see no harm or impact to the general public with the proposed shed. We do not believe that the values of the surrounding properties are diminished because most of our neighbors have sheds with no impact on property value. The shed will be new construction of quality materials designed by Reed's Ferry Shed to match the color and look of Chelsea's home. And finally, with respect to hardship, the lot with 2 units, it's a condominium, it's a duplex condominium. The lot with 2 units and the existing pool and fence is a small, tight area, and forcing a shed 15 feet off the side property line would effectively eliminate Ms. Ewing's backyard. Given the abundance of sheds in the neighborhood, we respectfully submit that there is no fair and substantial relationship between the setback requirements in this district and the location of the proposed shed. Further, we submit sheds are a common, reasonable accessory use for homes in our region. And then I also noted section 165.10 with respect to the frankly, some unusual language I've never come across as I read the ordinances, but there's the setback requirement or the proposed building shall conform to the average setback of structures 300 feet on either side of the building on the same side of the street. So that's our 5 criteria, Mr. Chairman, and if I may, just simply start out with, I have 2 letters that I will read into the record, if I may, and then submit to you. And the first, and I have some pictures to hand out as well. The first letter is to the Derry Zoning Board regarding 3R Phillip Road, case number 25-129. Members of the board, we own 1L Phillip Road. We abut Chelsea Ewing's home at 3R Phillip Road. We have no objection to Chelsea's proposed shed to be located at the end of her driveway. It's dated September 24th, and it's signed by Matthew Carey and Lillian Bedard. The second letter I have, it's actually what we call the statement of consent, because this had to do, I framed it that way because it had to do with the condominium declaration. But if I could read that into the record as well. It's a statement of consent. This statement of consent is made by Chelsea Ewing, owner of 3R Phillip Road, Derry, New Hampshire, and Joseph, I can't say it, Ritano, trustee of the JPR Family Revocable Trust, owner of 3L Phillip Road, Derry, New Hampshire, the other duplex unit. Together, we are the owners of the 2 units which comprise the Quail Hill Condominium Number 5, which declaration is recorded at the Rockingham County Registry of Deeds at Book 2601, page 1209. Notwithstanding any provision in said declaration and the exhibits thereto, we each consent to the existing and proposed improvements located in the common area of our condominium, including but not limited to the existing sheds, fence, pool, and associated equipment, fire pit, and the proposed shed. And that's dated September 18th by Chelsea Ewing, is signed, and dated September 18th by Joseph Ritano as trustee of his revocable trust. And I have those along with a few pictures to hand out to the board, if I may.
Well, what we'll do, Attorney Perlman, is have you hand those attest as statements to Mrs. Owen, and she can retain them and hold on to them for us. And if you would like to reference any photos and go further, we'll see if we need to have them in our hands personally or not. We do have, code enforcement does give us photos of the site, and we do have them in our packets. But if you'd like to hand those letters right over to her, that would be fine. We do like to try and get information from the applicant as soon as possible versus having it put on us at the night of the hearings. But at this case, we're pretty low formality. So please continue on.
Mr. Chairman, I have you may have this in what I'm not sure what you have in front of you. I have a picture taken from your GIS imagery, and I just wanted to speak to it a little bit because I think it's... If you'd like
to hold it up, I can see it from where you're at.
Okay. So, Ms. Ewing and her neighbor, Joseph Ritano, they each own one half of the duplex condominium. There is a fence that runs down the middle of the backyard. On Ms. Ewing's side, there's a large pool that was installed prior to her purchasing the property. Ms. Ewing purchased her unit in 2021. When she purchased the unit, there was a pool, there was a fence, and there was a deck that wrapped around the side. And if you can see on this, I'm sure it's tough to see all around, but the fence runs from the end of her driveway along the property line and then toward the back of the yard, and then kind of splits the common area in the backyard.
Does that fence divide number 3 and number 1, Phillips?
The fence to the north divides 3 and 1.
Got it, okay.
The fence in the middle of the property divides the 2 units.
Do you have enough copies for everybody? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chairman, could we get Owen to bring that up on the screen?
We could. Mr. Provencher, if you want to help us that. Thank you, Mr. Perlman.
Yes, Mr. Chair, we're looking,
Okay, thank you. Which is which? This or this one?
Thank you.
Here.
So, Mr. Chairman, if I may orient everyone, Ms. Ewing's unit is the one with the pool in the backyard. Heading up the picture, heading north, is 1 Phillip Road, or 1 L Phillip Road. And you can see that they have a shed. You can see that the fence separates the property, and it's a 6-foot fence. 6-foot fence between the two properties. And these are the folks who indicated that they have no objection to Ms. Ewing's proposed shed. And what I wanted to point out here is that you can see the car in the driveway, and cars are roughly 6.5 feet wide. So if you were to apply a 15-foot setback along the length of that fence, along the property line, and even toward in the rear yard, because the rear yard also requires a 15-foot setback, there's really no place to put the shed. If you would really have the shed butting tight up against the pool, which I suppose could be fun. You could jump off the roof of the shed into the pool, but we don't want to necessarily do that. But my point is, where Ms. Ewing wants to put the shed is pretty much the only location where it could go. And you can't. It's hard to see. You can't really see it, but she has a wraparound deck that wraps along the side of her unit, and so that shed. What will happen is, with the shed being 4.5 feet off the property line, it will create a buffer for the backyard. It'll allow some passageway between the. Oh, great. Oh, perfect. Okay. It'll allow a passageway between the shed and the deck, and then it allows the deck. That's kind of did you do that?
No.
It's kind of blurred out. So that's the point I wanted to make with this particular picture, because there's really no other place to put the shed. I drove the neighborhood about 2 weeks ago or so. Nearly every one of these condominium units in this on these streets in this development has some type of outbuilding sheds. Many of them are right on the property line. Some of them are set back. We did not do a deep dive into every permit for every unit at the site. I suspect some sheds just went up. I suspect some sheds probably got their permits. But Ms. Ewing is simply seeking to install a shed at the end of a driveway, and we don't see any adverse impact to the town, to the neighbors, and it will certainly be a benefit to Ms. Ewing. And Mr. Chairman, that's all I had. Did you want to add anything?
No, I don't need to add anything.
So we'll just note that I think in your photo that we were looking at, it showed a fence across the end of the driveway?
No.
It did not? So
No.
we were looking at a different property?
Yeah, the driveway, okay, that's my picture. Yeah, the driveway just stops at a grassed area. Ms. Ewing has cut out some grass and put down some gravel for the shed.
Okay.
And there's no fence in between the road and her backyard.
I removed that, so that's why
The
it
fence?
looked like the fence was there, but now that it's not there,
Very good.
in the front driveway.
All right, thank you. All right, I have no questions. Anybody else? Mr. Dragani?
No, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Mr. Tripp?
I have a question about, your lot. It has a swimming pool adjacent to the house, and then it appears there's like 30-some feet beyond the pool to another fence, which is, I assume, the edge of your lot. Is there a reason that the shed cannot go in that area?
The primary purpose of the shed will be to house my snow blower, which like I'm trying to do it obviously right from the driveway into the shed because I'm a single woman. I'm not going to drag it across the backyard type thing. So that's why I wanted to put it in the front because that's the primary purpose of the shed is to house the snow blower, the lawnmower, things that I use for the back and the front.
So how far will the shed be from the front property line? It'd be at least 35 feet.
Yes, yes.
More than that.
In Ms. Ewing's application, she provided a sketch of where the shed is going to go. And it shows that the shed will meet the front yard setback of 35 feet, but it'll be 4.5 feet off the side yard setback.
You have the image in front of you, Mr. Tripp?
I do.
Okay. Any other questions right now?
Yeah. Not presently.
Very good. Mrs. Moran?
I have none.
Mr. Burgess?
So the doors to your shed is in the front or on the side, or where are they?
So there's two, it's a double door in the front and then one in the back as well. It's like they're barn doors that kind of open up and they're gonna match the door on my house.
Just to wonder, why don't you rotate it the opposite way so you get extra width on the side?
Yeah, I hadn't really thought of that. The way I envisioned it was to put it this way, and the way I kind of measured it out was that way.
We have a graphic from Reeves Ferry Shed. I mean, you can imagine what a shed looks like, but it's just a standard shed with a double door in front and a rear door in the back. Mr. Burgess, if I may, Mr. Chairman, you know, if the board would be so considering, we could certainly turn the shed, which would create more setback.
Gives you more room on both sides. You can take the shed out, take it out both, either way. If you take it, this is gonna be, I don't know, another couple of feet at least, side to side, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have doors in the front and doors in the back as you're planning the layout, and one of the advantages of that is allows you to pass through from the front to the back without any obstruction. Am I correct?
Correct. We prefer not to turn it, but you know, we would, we understand. And
Well, I think that looking at the layout of the shed 10 by 12, it buys you a foot on each side. I don't know whether that's life-saving or not.
no.
So I think I like how the shed, you know, the necessity that you're demonstrating here, and
That's true.
I think what's more important is the setback on it. So.
Yep.
Mr. Diesel?
I'm all set. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Ms. Owen, you want to help us out here? Any thoughts?
Attorney Perlman and the applicant did a great job kind of walking through what they're proposing to do. It's a straightforward shed, 10 by 12, obviously located within the side setback. As previously stated, there are quite a bit of outbuildings on other properties in this neighborhood. It's medium-density residential district, which requires 15-foot side setback, and then if it's approved, a permit would be required.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Any questions for Mrs. Owen from the board? Seeing none, okay. Folks, do you have anything else you wish to add?
thank you very much. Go Red Sox.
Covered everything. Let's go to public and see what they have to say. Vicious crowd in here tonight, so brace yourself. Mr. Provencher, you all set with those phone numbers? I see them up there on the screen. So, Mr. Corbett, you have any questions? I'm sorry.
No, Mr. Chair. It's a shed. It's a nice shed at that. Nothing to add.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, so looking at those phone numbers on the screen, anybody out there that wishes to, in remote land, wishes to be heard on this matter, phone number is 646-558-8656. At the prompting, please press 323 909-140, and if you wish to speak, just press star 9 and we'll get you in. That being said, anybody here wishes to speak in favor of this application, this would be your time to come forward and be heard, and that call also goes to those folks who are remote. Anybody there, Mr. Preventure?
Seeing none rise, Mr. Chair.
No one in the room rushing forward, so let's go for anybody who's in opposition to this application. This will be your opportunity to come forward, and likewise, anybody remote that would like to speak on the matter of this shed, this is your opportunity to do so.
Mr. Chair, seeing none rise online.
Thank you again, Mr. Venture. So we have met the standard standard for public input, and therefore you folks have one last chance to say anything if you want clarity. And
Mr. Chairman, thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
okay, good enough. That being said, we could take a motion to go into deliberation, please.
I'll make the motion to go into deliberative session.
You're not on this
Oh,
one,
that's right. I'm
Mr.
sorry.
Let's go over
I'll make
to
that
your-
motion.
Mr. Tripp has that call, and this time Mr. Dragani can second it.
I will second it.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Dragani and Mr. Tripp. All in favor of going into deliberation, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, so we're in deliberation. Anybody have any thoughts on the shed? Mr. Dragani?
I find that it's in a good location considering that they already have other things in the yard. I don't see an issue having it close to the driveway.
All right, Mr. Tripp?
I don't have any issues with it.
Okay, Mrs. Moran?
No, I have no issues with it. I'd rather a shed than everything outside.
Okay, Mr. Corbett?
Yeah, I have no problems with it. There's not really a location that'll work for what they're trying to accomplish otherwise.
Okay, good enough. I think it averages out well in the neighborhood, understanding the design of the neighborhood and the structures that are there. No man or woman should be denied a shed. So it fits where it fits, as long as it's setting back and it's not creating a health or safety hazard. I think it's a fair ask. Structuring the motion, subject to obtaining town permits and inspections. Anybody else have any concerns they want to implement here?
No.
Seeing no gestures there. So our motion is structured, and we've heard everybody. Mr. Corby, you all set?
Good, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. All in favor of coming out, or I need a motion to come out of deliberation, I'm sorry.
I'll make a motion to come out of deliberation.
Thank you,
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Dragani, seconded by Mr. Tripp. All in favor of coming out of deliberation, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Mrs. Moore, you got a motion to read.
I do, thank you. I make a motion on case number 25-129 for Chelsea Ewing to grant a variance to the terms of Article 6, Section 165-46.C.4 of the Town of Derry zoning ordinance to allow the construction of a 10-foot by 12-foot shed less than 15 feet from the side property line. Parcel ID 25013-005R, zoned MDR, as presented with the following conditions. We have one, subject to obtaining all state and town permits and inspections, and that concludes the reading of the motion. I need a second.
So moved. Second.
Thank you, Mr. Tripp. That puts that motion on the floor. Mr. Corby, you have the finding of fact for us?
Yes, finding of fact for case 25-129. Board found that the applicant is requesting a variance to construct a new shed less than 15 feet from the side property line. The applicant is requesting approval to allow the construction of a 10-foot by 12-foot shed 4.5 feet from the side property line. Property is located in the medium-density zoning district, which requires a 15-foot minimum setback to the side property line. Board also includes all facts found in its meeting minutes for this application and incorporates all meeting minutes into its finding of facts and decisions. Does anybody have any additions or addendums to make?
Seeing no gestures there, okay. Anybody all in favor of moving this for a vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none. Mr. Corbett?
I vote yes.
Ms. Moran?
Chair, I vote yes.
Mr. Dragani?
Chair, I vote yes.
Mr. Tripp?
I vote yes.
And the chair will make it unanimous by a vote of 5-0. So congratulations to Mrs. Ewing. Your application has been approved by a vote of 5-0. Anybody aggrieved by this decision has 30 days to ask this board for reconsideration. After that, recourse will be to Superior Court. Nice to meet you, Mr. Perlman, and both of you have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.
All right, next case up is 25-130, Joseph Santomassino. And that is representing Haas Wallace Revocable Trust. How you doing tonight?
Nervous.
Again? I thought you got that out of your system last time you were here.
Nope.
Okay. All right, so we asked you for some kind of verification of the trust and those who may have been in control of the trust. I see those names signed on a document here. Are there any objections from the board to accepting this as a qualified trust that the Santomassinos can present for? Anybody have any questions? Mr. Corbett?
No, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Mr. Burgess? You all set there?
I can't think.
Gesturing back
Don't
over to
seem
Mr.
to have
Tripp.
that.
You have any qualms here?
Nope.
Okay, Mrs.
Good.
Okay, thank you. Forgot your name again. So I have that paper so I can remember everybody's name. Mr. Burgess, you all set?
Yeah, I guess.
Second thing we asked you for was some kind of drawing, right? The septic plan showed more or less that the building looked like it was attached, but you're on the path for detached, am I correct?
This is.
Yes, Chair.
And you gave us a drawing of a proposed house.
Yes, Chair. A proposed house also lowered the size to 800 square feet upon request to be more in line with the town. We can ignore the previous 950 square feet proposal that we had before, and we condensed it to 800 upon recommendation to conform.
Okay, so you're amending your application from 950 square feet down to 800.
That is correct.
That conforms to the town's standards.
The other problem was the, already having two accessory dwellings, one inside the house, one out on this one.
Yeah. You folks are here accompanied by your mother-in-law?
Mother and father-in-law, yes. Patricia and Jim Haas.
All right, so to Mr. Burgess's point, you already have an apartment in there, essentially, or an in-law of some sort. And that's where the conflict now lies with this additional ADU, correct?
That is correct, Chair.
Mr. Burgess, you wish to direct any questions to the applicant?
Well, I have you, I guess we got into the point where you'd have to make this just into a bedroom in the house or something. We couldn't have the additional kitchen upstairs and so.
Yes, that's correct. The main issue was that there was a kitchen for the in-law. That's the only thing separating from it being already having a ADU or an in-law already on the property compared to being a freestanding structure at that point. So the main point of the variance is for the kitchen to be allowed to stay there for Patricia and Jim to still have the dignity to remain for the remainder of their time. And it would be removed, of course, to better conform to the town of Derry once it is no longer needed.
Is Dave Wallace Uncle Dave?
Yes, sir.
I have two in my life, Uncle Dave's.
That's my son's name.
Just for the record, Uncle Dave is your son's name?
Yep. Just Dave.
Mr. Burgess, did you wish to continue on?
Just wondering how we're going to facilitate that. I'm going to ask if we can talk to our
Well,
person from trust.
let's stay to the format of this first. Uncle Dave lives in the top floor, and he's the one utilizing the apartment, correct?
It's reverse. He's actually on the base floor.
He's on the base floor,
That is correct.
and Patricia and Jim are on the top floor,
That is
where
correct.
that kitchen is.
Okay.
Mr. Burgess, outside of asking any questions to Patricia or Jim, did you have anything else?
No.
Let's reserve that right for you. Let's see where the rest of this goes, okay? Mrs. Moran, any questions?
I don't currently.
Mr. Tripp, how about yourself?
I have a question, but it would probably be of the code enforcement officer.
Yes.
Mr. Corbett, anything from you on this one?
Yeah, I've got a question I'm coming up with. I'm just not there yet.
Okay. Well, let's bounce on over to code enforcement then. Mrs. Owen, I don't know if we got your commentary when these folks were with us before, but feel free to venture into whatever poetry you'd like to expound on.
Thank you, Chair. As we were aware from the last meeting, since this was tabled, the existing single-family residence does contain an existing ADU within the home, so it's an attached ADU. This variance is seeking a detached ADU, so it would be a second ADU. As we're aware, one ADU is permitted per property, per our ordinance and per the state legislation. So at the last meeting, the board asked for a potential proposed change to the existing ADU, and as we're aware, the current home property owners would prefer to leave that kitchen until a later date and then have it removed at that point of time. So I think that the applicant, as previously stated, I mean, they did come through with the updated plan to meet the limit in square footage size at 800 square feet. They did provide the ownership authorization letter with the trust. And then the property owner did provide a letter as well, kind of describing the need for that kitchen in the existing ADU, and is also confirming that that could be removed at a later date and time. How we enforce that it is removed at a later date, that I can see be the challenge, because we don't know what that date would be. And maybe a suggestion would be that when that time comes, the town or the building department gets notified that the change is being made, and that way we can update the records and update assessing as well.
Would we set some sort of a date for that after the time that the construction and occupancy is made?
Well, I think their ask is that the existing kitchen in the existing ADU remains, and that to a future date unknown, until that's no longer needed. So if the board should choose to approve this, the thought would be that they would have to notify the building department or the town that things had been changed. But that is a challenge for enforcement.
I mean, one of the ways that we could, if the board were to consider this, certainly would be to, if this were granted, to make sure that the condition of filing with the Registry of Deed in some ways, that would help enforcement. It didn't necessarily mean that you would have to go out there, but it would always be on record with the property that it was a single family with a detached ADU. I don't think we're quite yet there on the second kitchen. have you been to this property at all?
Yes, I have.
So you've seen the second kitchen?
I have not been inside the residence, but I did walk the property with the property owner and reviewed the proposed location of the proposed detached ADU, as well as just kind of understanding the property layout.
Well, what makes this with two kitchens in it not a two-family versus it's being a single-family? Do you have a definition for that?
That's a good question. The way that it is currently assessed per our records is that it is listed as an in-law or an accessory dwelling unit.
I see.
They do have a private entry. But beyond that, I'm not sure.
All right, well, that just helps fill in some color there. Anybody on the left down there, Mr. Tripp or Mr. Obimba or Mr. Dragani, respectively? Mr. Dietzel?
All set, Mr. Chair, thank you.
Gentlemen, anything from any of you? Mr. Tripp, you all set?
I'm all set.
Okay.
One thing,
Sure.
just to-
Mrs. Moore, we'll come back to Mr. Corbett in just a second.
I just want to point out too, though, that they have 15 acres and they're on 3 different roads, so essentially they can do this as an ADU or potentially as a subdivision.
But then you'd have to have it subdivided and a road put in and so forth.
No, they have frontage on 3 roads.
Pardon me, Mr. Chair, sorry for the interruption. We're having a problem picking up a couple of the board members. If we could just ensure proximity to the microphone and that we speak.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Mr. Provencher. All of you know who you are. Stuff your faces in those microphones. Mr. Corbett?
Yes, Mr. Chair. So the two-family was the question that I was trying to get to as I was looking through, and I think, possibly more for deliberative, but where I was getting to that was that, perhaps we're then making a property even more non-conforming to try to conform with the ADU. To me, I start to wrestle between which would be the lesser two evils there. But to the question of what would be the differentiating fact of an ADU to a two-family, what Mr. Mackey had told me in the past, and I'm not sure how this would affect the ADU, but it comes down to the meters, that if each floor of the house is metered separately, that's what would create the two-family rather than what it is today. So that was my first point. The second one may be more of a question for Ms. Owen, but in the spirit of the sunset clauses that we've put in, would we be able to make a condition, and I don't like wishing death upon Uncle Dave, but a condition that this the ADU or the kitchen is only allowed until a death certificate is issued for Uncle Dave, for a way to be able to enforce that?
Could you repeat that, please?
That if for a way to, how would we enforce that you get rid of the kitchen when Uncle Dave dies? Could we put a condition in that it expires upon the issuance of his death certificate?
Let's talk about more lighthearted things like 2 meters.
Say again?
So we'll talk about more lighthearted things like 2 meters versus the other. I want to go back to Mrs. Owen for a second on Mr. Corbett's question, which is the 2 meters. Are the 2 meters there?
I didn't look to see, to be honest with you. That I would have to defer.
Do you folks, are there 2 meters on the house?
There's just 1 meter.
That answers that question, Mr. Corbett. The other side to it.
Mr. Chair.
I'm
To
sorry?
your question of, sorry, that was more to clarify to your question of, what would differentiate
Sure.
the two-family into this house, that it would be 2 meters that would differentiate it.
Yeah. And then, where's the flag for compliance when you already have essentially an ADU in there? However, with an ADU, would we require overall, from the code enforcement side, a separate meter?
No, we would not.
No, we'd not. Yeah.
Because I know I've seen different apartments that have You have the apartment, and they provide your electricity and heat, so.
Okay, Mr. Tripp?
And then the quote, in-law apartment is a previously approved ADU.
Correct. I don't know when, I don't remember when it was built in time, but it is approved or permitted. Correct.
Is it more than 5 years?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, more.
So
Say again?
it was more than 5 years, so it was more
built in
like just an
1994.
in-law.
Yeah, it was an in-law at the
Sorry?
time.
It was built in 1994.
Okay, so it certainly would have fallen under an in-law standard versus an ADU.
All right, so it's an in-law apartment, not an
is now-
ADU.
Well,
Well, now
Today's-
the term is ADU today, and that encompasses an in-law as well.
So, so when the home was built, it was built with an in-law apartment.
Correct.
And
now it
your
would be
records show
defined.
that.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
The other, so I was looking up the difference. It's the utility meters, and then the postal address is what would, separate an ADU and multifamily.
Okay. Oh, multifamily would be apartment A or B or C, correct?
Correct.
Got it. Okay, thank you, Mrs. Moore. I think the finish line is the aspect that Mr. Corbett honed in on the most, and I was touching on as well as far as the filing with the Registry of Deeds to stay in compliance with what the intentions of this application are currently.
Pardon me, Chair.
Yes, Mr. Dragani?
I just got a quick question. Is there anything in the rules about, this is code enforcement actually, about having two dwellings on a property in the sense of, instead of calling it an ADU, like a second dwelling?
Yeah, so it's, I believe it's section 165.8, a number of buildings per lot, which permits one residential dwelling per lot. And now with the state legislative changes, when it comes to ADUs, an accessory dwelling unit is now permitted by right, one per property, one per single-family residence, I should clarify, and that could be attached or detached.
Gotcha.
Okay. Mr. Burgess had wanted to speak with the executors of the trust. Is that what you wanted?
I was just,
You're all set?
yeah,
Okay.
code enforcement I was trying to get at.
All right. Hey, we'll need to move this along. Mr. Corbett, anything else from you?
No, not this time, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, okay. All right, well, I'll tell you what. Let's make a call to the public. If anybody in attendance here, that would include Patricia or James Hawes, would like to speak at that time, that would be fine. If not, that's fine as well.
I have a question for code enforcement too, if not.
Directing over to Mrs. Moran before we move forward.
What part of the kitchen makes it a separate unit?
The way that I understand it is it would be the range. A kitchenette is more of a sink, if there's a dishwasher too, but if there's a little bar sink, things like that would be a kitchenette, but the range, I think, is what the trigger is.
So if there was no oven, then, okay.
Correct.
What kind of home is this? What kind of house style?
Two-story,
Colonial kind of thing?
yeah, kind of more of like a farmhouse style.
I had it on the GSI.
Hang on just a second, pause. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of a colonial a little bit. Two-story, you could say it's a two-story ranch also, correct?
You could.
Okay,
It's under 2,000 square feet.
okay. So, going back, you folks, you kids have anything you want to add at this point? Any clarity you want to give?
Nothing.
You understand what the board's deliberating or discussing at this point. We're not in deliberation, but, you know, you're welcome to give any other input.
I did speak with the architect as well, just before, making sure that if the home, at least the front, like the fronting or the shape, just want to make sure that we can have the color, anything to match the house as well, because I know that it's something that the town cares about, to make sure that it at least all matches in styling. But that's all that I'm aware of. We just want to be aware of anything we can do to help along this process, as we're fish swimming blind in this one.
Mr. Burgess, did you see this house?
No, it's too far in to see it.
All right. Tell you what, because I'm just noticing some photos here that may be helpful, and I think that we will pass those out briefly. And I'm going to...
We have Google Maps up there too that shows a layout.
Yeah, well, take a look at this house. I'm going to give one photo to Mr. Burgess just to expedite this along a little bit. And if we would, Mrs. Moran, if you'd like to take a gander at that and hand it to your left. And likewise, Mr. Dietzel has some photos there. When he's done with them, we can send them back this way and exchange the photos that have gone to my left. You gentlemen all set there? Mr. Burgess, you all set?
Yep.
Oh, did you get these two?
Yeah, those two. Oh, that's gonna be lovely.
I don't
Yeah,
want
that-
those photos. I don't want that photo. I want the ones I gave you.
I know. Okay. You don't care about those. I want to see.
You all set?
Yeah.
All right, let me hand those down. Can we have those other photos back, please? And, gentlemen, to you.
Yes, please. Oh, thank you. Okay. You did
I
two-story?
think there's a feel for what this house is. Mr. Corbett, I apologize. I don't know how, do we have a way to let him see these pictures?
What?
Not unless they're digital,
Oh,
Mr.
okay.
Chair,
All right.
digitized.
Sorry, Mr. Corbett. Essentially, it's a two-story kind of ranch, colonial modified, just to give you a feel for what we're looking at here, so.
The
You've already
GSI
seen them.
has a pretty accurate picture too.
Okay. All right. Can I have those back, please? Gentlemen all set? All right. So I think we get a feel for what this building is, and that helps us move along some thought. And let's make a call to public. Can we get those phone numbers posted, Mr. Preventure?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
Can I ask a question?
Mr. Tripp?
So I may have asked this previously, but are you on town water or well?
Well,
Yeah.
And so you're probably on septic, not town sewer?
yep.
Okay.
So you should have a septic design with your packet. Mrs. Moran's point is that this is a 15-acre parcel. I want to go back and redirect on that too, by the way, because I think the testimony, the last time these Mr. Santomassino was here, they indicated that there's a lot of wet area on the property. So development is difficult, subdividing may be difficult by their own testimony.
Yeah, their letter also states that there's no such convenient lines that would suffice for a further split.
Okay. All right, so let's make a call to public. We have the phone numbers posted up on the screen. It's anybody out there remotely that would like to chime into this meeting and be heard on this case would be, phone number would be 646-558-8656. Meeting ID number at the prompt is 323-909-140. Please press star 9 if you're there and you wish to be heard. And if there's any technical difficulties getting in, you can call 845-5585. The clerk will help direct you in. Anybody who wishes to speak in favor of this application, this would be your time to come forward. That applies to anybody who is remote. See anybody out there, Mr. Preventure?
Seeing none, rise, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much. So we'll jump over to anybody who's in opposition to this application. This would be your opportunity to come forward as well. Anybody out there, Mr. Preventure?
Once again, seeing none, rise.
Thank you. So we've satisfied statute for public input. Let's see if we can just make sure we don't have any questions for the applicant before we go into deliberation. Folks, you had indicated that when you were here the last time that you would extinguish the in-law that's in the structure currently. Correct?
Yes, we indicated that we would try and make a plan, speaking with those who are on the property right now for what we can do for any form of accommodation with the kitchen, any kind of plan. They still would like to keep that kitchen until it is no longer required. Again, it's hard to talk about certain phrases right now with without sounding grim, but we weren't able to reach any accommodation in the meantime until then. But we do plan on getting rid of and removing any form of the kitchen after it is no longer needed, so that we can accommodate for what the town needs to make sure that it's no longer considered an in-law and we only have the one to conform. Yeah.
Okay. And usually when somebody comes forward with an application like this, it's with an understanding that they're looking for one to trade off the other immediately, not down the line. And I'm having a hard time differentiating between what your request was, which was, and it's not solely my decision, it goes to the board, but my observation is that the difference between how we define down the line that this does not become a three-family, essentially. I think the board's hung up on that as well. Anybody have any answers to that other than the Mr. Santomassino?
No, I was in the same pickle as you are.
All right.
Actually, can I just ask one question before you guys go into deliberation?
To the mic?
Yeah. If it was connected and it turns into a three-family, does that alleviate a lot of those issues? Or we don't like three families at all in town, or?
I heard, does it alleviate those issues?
Being, the ADU and a single family, turning it into an attached three-family.
Well, it deviates from the intentions of an ADU. And essentially, that's the application before us is an ADU. Don't really have a lot of interest in creating three families in an area that requires 200 feet of frontage and 3 acres for a structure. Understanding where the ADU legislation is and the rules, As I just explained to the applicant, usually if someone's looking for something like this, they're going to sacrifice the other. And I'm not sure I have a good feel for where the board is on their temperament to be able to grant both in this case. And I don't see that I have a lead in here of some direction for that before we go into deliberation, and I don't want to go into deliberation until I have a feel for that. Mr. Burgess, you have any suggestions here on whether or not you can put up with an ADU when there's another livable unit, two livable units in the structure?
Well, that's where I have this problem.
Right, and I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. My reason for passing out those photos is because this structure that's being shown is not unique in that you would say, well, it would always have to stay as a two-family or an in-law inside. What's the total bedrooms inside this structure currently? Do we know that, Ms. Owen?
I know their letters stated they only had one, and because
One on the second floor?
one extra, and they needed two because I believe he has a daughter.
Yeah, I'm looking at the structure, not the proposed ADU. I'm looking at the current structure that's there. Is that, maybe you folks can paint the picture for us? I'm thinking 2 bathrooms, 1 upstairs, 1 downstairs,
That is correct.
3 bedrooms upstairs.
Two bedrooms upstairs, 1 downstairs. The only thing, if in theory we were to move into the main house, we would be sharing 1 bedroom, and there still wouldn't be able to be space for
Anybody
my
have the size, the footprint on this structure?
That house?
Yes, I do, Chair.
Yes.
I'm pulling up the assessing right now. It is listed per the town's records that it's a 5-bedroom total. So again, that it's separated into the in-law and the main living space, and total square footage, occupiable living space is 1,935 square feet.
Okay. About 2?
1,900 square feet plus, and that would include those 5 bedroom areas? Yeah.
Correct.
And I'm thinking that, what was the total, or was it 9, is the whole space, top and bottom floor, 1,900 square feet livable?
Correct. 1,008 square feet on the first floor, 927 square feet on the second floor.
And in acceptance to creating or leaving the structure that's inside, abandoning the second kitchenette at some date uncertain, this structure is fairly sizable. With 15 acres, it easily could accommodate a 5-bedroom septic on it. So the house structure itself is not unique in that you would say, like if we get into the center of the town where the oldest part of the community is, right? You would look at the Victorian houses and you'd say, yeah, it certainly looks like it could be a 2-family or a 3 or a 4-family, correct? But when you look at the layout of this house and how it's designed, you would say you wouldn't know that there's a separate kitchenette inside there. And it's easy to convert it back at some date uncertain. Mr. Corbett, you with me on this?
Yeah, I am. I wholeheartedly agree. I think, I brought up my grim recommendation. That's just kind of where I'm hung up. I just don't know how to paper that portion of it.
We
I
add
think
the
I'm in
word,
lockstep with you.
so the town of Derry zoning ordinance to allow the temporary construction of a second accessory dwelling unit, and then define.
What temporary is?
Yes.
Yeah, because it's going to end up being a permanent structure no matter what, so that could cause an issue down the line.
Yeah, so I mean, so I guess my point is, it's easy for this structure, the existing home, to revert back to a single-family, 5-bedroom home, and surrender the second kitchenette at some point down the road. trying to create the certainty that that is surrendered if we grant the ADU becomes the question. I think putting it, enforcing it to be before a permit is given for the ADU, that the Registry of Deeds has that the home is, the second kitchenette is not approved in the primary home, I think is a good way of going about it. Anybody have any thoughts there, Mr. Tripp?
I was thinking about something else.
Okay, so what I was saying was filing this, in order to get the permit for the ADU, that a filing on the Registry of Deeds has to be done, that the second kitchenette is surrendered, and the primary residence is to remain a single family. Does that work for you?
Yes.
Makes sense, okay. Mr. Burgess, how's that settling with you?
Excuse me. I still have issues, but that's just me.
You what?
I still have issues, but that's just me.
So by requiring that, the in-law apartment
Gets surrendered.
is surrendered. All right, because so it was,
We just need certainty of it.
okay, because the thing that I wonder about is the access to the in-law apartment via common area.
Is it one stairway? I'm guessing the stairway goes up the center of the house to the top floor. Yep. And there's no seclusion of doors to it. It's free-flowing, am I correct?
That is correct.
I mean, Uncle Dave could tumble down the stairs to visit, and no one would, everybody would see him at the bottom of the stairs, correct?
That is correct.
What do you use a
So
second?
the people living in the bottom have access to the upper floor
That is correct.
It's
with no
free-flowing.
restrictions?
No restrictions. It's very common to watch TV together.
All right, so it's obviously not an ADU.
Yeah, it's hard to define it as an in-law also, but it's stipulated that on the tax card, and because of that, then we're forced into this, essentially an ADU on what's more than a single family.
Because the issue I have is that should, in the future, this is a hypothetical, I'm not saying it's could happen or will happen, but you would be permitted by the new statute to rent it out. But if there's no independent access, then it doesn't fit the criteria of being an ADU. So I think what the chairman is suggesting is suitable.
I think as we keep working our way through this, if down the line they were to try to make the upstairs a second legitimate apartment, the permitting and the process for that would be somewhat onerous, and it would show up under the radar.
Correct.
Yeah. So I think the stipulation, filing the Registry of Deeds, that the primary residence is to remain a primary residence only. I think if they were to, down the line, somebody were to come in and say, hey, and that document, the Registry of Deeds, needs to go in the building file or the zoning file for that property, so it would always be tracked. And that way, if a permit came in to make it block off the bottom stairway, make it a separate entrance like a legitimate apartment, that would show up on the radar, and that permit would be denied. Sound good to you, Mr. Tripp?
Yes, it does.
How does that sound to you, Mr. Corbett?
Honestly, I don't know. I just don't know how it impacts what's being asked for the immediate need. separate rabbit hole that I kind of have an appetite of going down the more I've thought about it. And it may be more from Ms. Owen, but I don't know. I have passion for cooking, and I decided I just want to put a second kitchen or something, a range up on my second floor so I can cook in peace. Would that automatically turn my second floor or that room into an ADU? Or if I just wanted to maintain my house as a single family, could I request a variance for a second, a range on a second floor? I guess, is there a way that they can sacrifice, maybe that's where you're going, Mr. Perkins, maybe we can sacrifice the in-law, but issue some type of variance to allow for the kitchen to remain in the meantime?
Yeah, we're not asking for the kitchen to be abandoned immediately. What we're doing is stipulating that down the road, at a certain date, an uncertain date down the road, if somebody were to try to turn that into a separate apartment on the top floor, perhaps when Uncle Dave is residing there, the permitting process would pick up on the registry, the registry of the deed, and then the permitting would catch it and it would prevent it from happening down the road, but we're not looking to eliminate it at this time.
Okay.
Okay, I think I thought I misunderstood it. I think what I took away from was that they couldn't apply to build the ADU while it was currently in place. But if it's just that we don't allow any future apartment rentals for the new one, then yeah, I have no qualms with that.
Yeah, I mean, reasonably, 50 years down the road, Mr. and Mrs. Santomassino could take up residence in the primary. The ADU goes back to what the legislative and governor's intent is currently, and would remain there, and but the primary residence would go back to a 5-bedroom without a kitchenette in the top floor.
Understood. And would we be able to, I think to Mr. Tripp's point, would we be able to put a condition in that regardless, any ADU remaining on property must be owner occupied?
Well, the ADU doesn't have to be owner occupied, but the owner needs to remain on the property, right? Which in itself, again, bigger government creates its own problem, because 40 years down the road, ADUs could take a whole different turn, but
Yep, that's not where we go today.
I think we got you there.
Yep, I'm good.
Okay, Mr. Tripp, you good?
I am.
All right.
Mr. Chairman.
You're going to go into deliberative sometime?
I am, as soon as we get this ironed out, because you can't iron this out in deliberative, right?
Why can't you?
Because you can't go to the different parties, right? Mrs. Owen, you want to help us out? Any conflicts there?
I just was reviewing the property file for permits and records that we have. Unfortunately, there is no set of plans, and I have not been inside the residence, but there is a building permit that was issued in 1993. At that time, they were adding a second story, and it's noted on the permit itself it was adding an accessory apartment and 2 bedrooms. So that's what, even though our assessing records noted as an in-law, I think that's just a label. But at that time, that's what they were seeking to do. So it was considered still an accessory at that time.
It was called an accessory in 1994.
Correct.
And I get that. But to turn this into but I'm thinking, and this is why we haven't gone to deliberative yet.
Okay.
I'm thinking that the intention at the time this was built was for Mr. and Mrs. Hawes and Mr. Uncle Dave to live in the structure all at the same time.
That is correct.
Seeing the nods from Mr. and Mrs. Hawes affirms that. And so this was a way for a family to consolidate under one roof and share a living space and have some independence. And so we get that. However, what we've defined a few minutes ago is that to segregate this into its own separate apartment, when Uncle Dave and Mom and Dad are no longer with us, would be onerous in permitting and further would prevent that from becoming a legitimate apartment. You with me, Mrs. Owen?
Sam.
Mr. Burgess, you follow me now? Okay, very good.
That was what I was going to say. That having that prevents it from essentially becoming a three-family.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Tripp, you with us? We're good, okay? You all set? All right, that being said, if no one has any objection, I'll take a motion, go into deliberation.
I'll make the motion to go into deliberative session.
Very good, thank you, Mr. Burgess. Do I have a second, please?
I'll second that.
All in favor of deliberation, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So to Mr. Burgess, why don't you lead off on deliberation?
Okay.
Any thoughts?
I'm just still hung up with the third apartment, but I understand what we're getting to now.
Okay.
There are other ways of doing things. So we will.
Just so you know, and I don't mean to divert you, I'm not forcing a vote. I am structuring something here that, so if you're not comfortable, you certainly have every opportunity to make it clear where you're not comfortable.
Okay.
Okay?
I'm not comfortable in the fact that it looks like we have, like you said, an apartment on the second floor, basically. That's what it was structured as when they asked for the permit to put the second floor on. So that's a thing right there. But I understand that we could structure this so that it would be impossible at this point in time to have that second floor rented out to someone else, or the front building, basically. So somewhere along the line, we're going to have one building that will be rented out eventually, probably, and that would be the accessory dwelling we're talking about. Got that about right? So they'd be living eventually in the front building, and the accessory dwelling would end up being left over. And somewhere we're going to ask them to remove the kitchen away. That's the part where there are too many times I've seen additional apartments made without permit, just putting in a couple of doors here and there and you're done.
Well, I get the sense, because it's no longer Uncle Dave that would be living up there, that it becomes different. It's not a boarding house.
No, I know.
Which we used to have. It's no longer a boarding house. It's somebody, if they were to move in there and say, well, I need a place to live, I need an apartment, it becomes a bigger issue for them to put that apartment in, know that it's not approved. Code enforcement could have that vacated at some point, and I think what's more important is the verifications. Now, if you think that this is too much documentation and, maneuvering around, you don't have to support the motion.
Okay.
Okay? You have that ability. I'm not trying to push the board in one direction, but I am trying to create...
You're giving all the parameters.
I was trying to create a path for it to happen. Okay?
There are different options available that we could go through, yeah. I understand those.
And if you feel like this is a decent application, and you have a better suggestion of noting it before 10 o'clock tonight, we can entertain that.
No, it's just I think we're on a track that I understand.
Okay.
Where you're going to be making sure that it's in the deed type of, for the property. That the second floor of this place will never become, or any other floor will be rented out. It'll be a single property.
5-bedroom.
For the main building, 5-bedroom building, single-family home, and the other detached ADU will be on the property also. I think that's what we're talking about.
Yep. You all set?
I'm good to go, right?
Okay, Mr. Tripp, your thoughts?
Well, I believe that by approving the ADU, we are approving a second residence on the property. And as such, I suspect it would have its own mailing address, which would, and it would be, added to the deed of the property. So I would suspect that that would set a precedent for if they're going to rent the ADU out, that it would be the ADU that we are proposing to approve, not the in-law apartment that.
Well, we're trying to make sure of that.
What?
Yeah.
I know,
think
we're trying to make sure of
get
that.
sure.
So,
Well,
as we're proposing that we would change the in-law apartment to where it does not qualify as a separate residence. Is that true?
that is exactly
That is exactly
what
true.
we're trying to do.
So,
At some future date.
yeah, at some future date, we're going to make it to where the in-law apartment, which is now an ADU, would revert to not being
Single
either of
family,
those things.
5-bedroom.
What? Yeah.
Single family, 5-bedroom.
Okay, so I'm okay with that. Nope.
All right. Mr. Corbett?
No, I think I'm in favor with what you're trying to accomplish here. It's the same items I'm wrestling with. It's just, how do we put that time frame on it? But I think this is the right way to try to structure this, in my opinion.
Okay. Mr. Moran?
I agree with everything that has been stated. I feel like within time, the parents may be in the ADU, and if they have a growing family, they would go in the house and then back to the ADU, and life just goes full circle sometimes.
Okay. Let's structure the motion. Subject to obtaining a state town property, state and town permits and inspections. And number 2, primary residence. Mrs. Owen, feel free to help scribe this, but essentially, primary residence to revert.
2 single-family, 5-bedroom home.
Primary residence to revert back to a single-family,
5-bedroom.
single-family residence.
Okay.
Do you want the
How does that sound to you, Mrs. Owen? Any thoughts?
No, I like that. Primary residence to revert back to single-family residence.
And are we filing anything with the Registry of Deeds?
Yes.
Now, would they have to come up with a new septic system permit?
Well, historically, code enforcement, and Mrs. Owen can correct me, but proof, I didn't look at how this new detached unit is going to tie in, whether it's going to have a separate septic or not, but proof that the lot can handle the septic is what's needed at time of construction.
Okay.
You on board there? Okay.
For that?
And then condition number 3, recording with the Registry of Deeds. Of deeds Where I'm going with this, that the current structure to revert to or remain anybody want, with history on the registry of deeds other than me want to help me out?
I would propose that when the deed is modified to add the ADU, that the existing building revert to a single-family dwelling.
I had written down file with Registry of Deeds that the primary residence is to remain a single family.
Well, it's
I like that.
not really a single family now.
Recording with Registry of Deeds.
Wasn't it revert to a single family?
Yes.
Registry of Deeds, that the primary residence to revert to a single family. Is that where you were at, Mr. Corbett?
That's what I said.
Oh, you did, okay.
Sorry.
No, that's fine.
I'll try and talk slower next time.
Okay, give it to me again, Mr. Tripp.
It said that when the deed is modified to add the ADU as a separate residence, that the deed also note that the primary residence will revert to a single-family dwelling. Because we will have to modify the deed to note that an ADU is being built.
On the GSI, it already has an ADU, and if you're only going to have one, the deed should already have that it's there.
Just recording with the Registry of Deeds of the primary residence to be
Yeah,
a single family.
as far as I recall, the post
How about-
office and the fire department are the one who designate which apartment's what and what their address will be.
Would it be primary or existing residence?
It could be either.
Okay. You pick.
If I may add too,
Please.
I'm not sure if it makes sense to define or limit, I guess, when that conversion happens. So if it's on, unfortunately a death, or if it's a sale of the property, or that, there's something.
We could say when the property is abandoned.
Abandoned. Yep.
Or sold.
I think without getting too many details on the deed with the registry, recording with Registry of Deeds of the primary residence become a single-family structure. When abandoned. Need some help here.
Designate when someone's going to pass away.
So to add the ADU to the deed, you have to do that?
But their deed should already have an ADU.
No.
No,
Well,
the
it
AD
does, but you're scripting it.
Say again?
You're scripting it.
Well, I think the deed was probably created when they built the first building, which
Yeah.
I would, it'd be interesting to know if, when the deed was modified to add that building, if it identified the second floor as a in-law apartment.
Well, and that's where the term primary residence comes in,
Yep.
because you do have the primary residence and the ADU by statute.
But when the deed was created, ADUs didn't exist.
No, I understand that, but they have it as a two-family. We're just refining the language for the deed, and I understand that Mrs. Moran keeps going back and saying, well, this has already has an, would you say an ADU or an in-law?
Yeah, on the
but
GSI.
but either way, that primary residence is whichever terminology you want to use, is opposed to it being the primary residence in a single family primary residence. So don't get hung up on the ADU or the in-law term, because it's the primary residence defines that structure. And the primary residence term also marries with the opposition of an ADU, which is the current language. You understand? Anybody?
Yes, I just couldn't read it.
I know where you're going, yeah.
Okay, so I've screwed that up. Can I have your motion sheet?
Mine? Oh, sure. I just have to go find it.
Anybody have one?
Hold on a second. Is this the one?
Ms. Peoples, do you have a spare motion sheet?
This is the one. Here you go.
Very good, all set. Thank you. All right. All right, number 2.
Thank you. I got one more spare if you need it.
Hang on here while we are in silence so I get this written out.
I want you. Interesting. Where is it? Ooh. No.
All right, so condition number 2 is going to be primary residence to revert back to a single-family home. Condition number 3 is single-family home. How did you say that was written, the in-law or ADU currently?
I just on the GSI, I didn't find it on the deed.
It was a two-family or an in-law, or what was the
In-law.
term?
It was in-law. Yeah, SFR/in-law.
Owner occupied.
All right, so sorry for the prolonged silence. Stipulation number 2 will be primary residence to revert back to a single-family home. recording with Registry of Deeds to stipulate the primary residence to return to a single-family residence
Okay.
when abandoned.
One of the things we had mentioned was that the residence has to be owner occupied.
We already know that.
Okay, did you, okay, I thought we needed to put it down to
No,
make sure.
it's part of the law. It's what's there now.
Okay, fine.
All right? So everybody get the third condition, recording with Registry of Deeds, stipulate the primary residence to return to a single-family residence when abandoned. An in-law is abandoned, okay? That gives the current ownership cover so that it doesn't require immediate abandonment. Are you good, Ms. Owen, with this? Okay, very good. Everybody understand the three conditions? Mr. Corbett, any questions?
No, Mr. Chair, I followed.
Okay, all right, so we're all set. That wraps up the deliberation. We'll take a motion to come out of deliberation, please.
I'll make the motion to come out of deliberative.
Mr. Burgess makes a motion. Mr. Tripp has a second. All in favor of coming out of deliberation?
Say aye.
Say aye. Thank you, Mr. Burgess. Any opposed? Hearing none, we're out of deliberation. Mrs. Moran, you have a motion to read.
I do, thank you. I make a motion on case number 25-130 for Joseph Santomassino, owner, Haas Wallace Revocable Trust, to grant a variance to the terms of Article 3, Section 165-25.I of the Town of Derry zoning ordinance to allow the construction of a second accessory dwelling unit in the form of a detached structure, parcel ID 07047, zoned LDR, as presented with the following conditions. We have three. 1, subject to obtaining all state and town permits and inspections. 2, primary residence to revert back to single-family home. 3, recording with Registry of Deeds to stipulate the primary residence to return to a single-family residence once the land, or once it is abandoned. And that concludes the reading. I need a second.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Tripp. Puts that motion on the floor. Any questions? Mr. Corby, you have a finding of fact for us?
Yes, finding a fact for case 25-130. The board found the applicant is requesting a variance to allow the construction of a second accessory dwelling unit in the form of a detached structure. Property is located in the low-density residential zoning district. The existing single-family residence contains a permitted ADU that's contained within the home. Per Article 3, Section 165-25.I of the zoning ordinance, once an accessory dwelling unit is created, no further conversion of the structure will be allowed for the purposes of creating an additional dwelling unit. Recently adopted state law permits one ADU per single-family dwelling, either attached or detached, as a matter of right. Therefore, a variance is being requested to allow the construction of the second ADU. The proposed attached ADU will not exceed 800 square feet in compliance with the Town of Derry's ordinance restrictions. The board also includes all facts found in the meeting minutes for this application and incorporates all meeting minutes into its finding of facts and decisions. Does anybody have any additions or addendums to make?
Are we really, okay, I'm a little bit confused over those because I thought we're trying to get this to be a single-family home.
This is the finding of fact.
Temporarily, we might be allowing the, the additional dwelling.
So it's abandoned.
Huh?
What I'm doing is kind of dictating what the application is and what we heard tonight. Then we have our conditions, but this is basically the summary of what the application was.
Okay.
So that was the finding of fact. Do you have any changes or those are the details for which the board is scripting its decision?
Okay.
You good with that?
Yeah.
All right, good enough. Any addendums, changes? Seeing no gestures there. All in favor of moving this for a vote, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mr. Corbett?
I vote yes.
Mr. Burgess?
I'm going to vote no. I don't think it's in public interest or in the spirit of the ordinance.
Okay. Mr. Tripp?
I vote yes.
Mrs. Moran?
Chair, I vote yes.
All right, and I will vote yes as well. I better, I would spend enough time trying to work through it. Folks, congratulations, your application has been approved by a vote of 4-1. Anybody aggrieved by this has 30 days to ask this board for reconsideration. After that, it will be recourse to Superior Court, okay? So congratulations, good luck.
Thank you so much, Chair.
All right, have a good evening.
Thank you so much for all your patience with this process. It's been quite difficult for our family.
You have quite a challenge before you.
Have fun. Good luck.
This was just a litmus test of what's ahead for you.
Oh.
All right. Next, we have approval of minutes. I don't think we have any other business. We have no correspondence. May I have a motion to table the minutes, please?
I'll make the motion to table the minutes till the next meeting.
Thank you. Can I have a second, please?
I'll second it.
All in favor of tabling the minutes, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. Mr. Corbett, thanks for being remote and attending to your family, so have a good evening. And do we have any cases lined up for next meeting?
I believe we have 2 applications for the next meeting.
Okay,
And
good
the
enough.
tabled one, it's in our,
Oh, that's true. Yeah, another tabled one. All right. Have a good evening, Mr. Corbett.
Chair, thank you, board, for
Take a
allowing me.
motion to adjourn, please.
I'll make
So
the
moved.
motion. You got it.
Mr. Tripp had the motion.
I'll second it.
Mr. Burgess seconds. All in favor of adjournment, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, have a good night, everybody. Adjourned.